And then we mentioned saying the elements of financial statements, we have 5 elements of financial statements, which is assets, liabilities, expenses, equity or capital. Then we also have revenue. So these are the 5 elements of financial statements. You need to understand this because in whatever we're going to be doing, we'll be using these terms and we'll be required to know some examples from these. What an asset is, what a liability, what an expense, equity or capital, and revenue. So it's very important from the beginning that you guys understand all these here. So once you know, it's going to be easy for you. You won't be able to struggle once when it comes to certain terms going forward, and also just understanding overall about what financial accounting is all about. So for a start, we are going to begin with what an asset is. We'll start with this one here. So you're going to start with an asset. They're not in a specific order, but I'm just trying to show you here we're starting with an asset. Now, what terms of explaining. So I hope you guys are able to get me. So just a confirmation check. If you're able to get me, just type in the comment section and I'll be able to see. Type in the comment section, and also if you're able to see my screen, what's written there. So welcome to the people who've just joined us. We are looking at the elements of financial statements. This is where we ended. So I can see loud and clear. Okay, that's great. So encourage your friends to join. They will find us. Okay, very clear. Okay, that's great. That's great. So now, anyone who will help us define what an asset is, you can type in the comment section and be able to read through there. So, when you talk about an asset, you're simply referring to an asset. There is a resource controlled and owned by an entity. So we can start from there. So you can write this. You can write this. You can write that. You can write. So we're saying an asset. An asset is a resource owned and controlled. So we're saying an asset is a resource owned and controlled by an entity. So just confirmation check. I hope you guys are able to see what I'm writing there, and also that you are following. Controlled and owned by an entity as a result of past events. As a result of past events. As a result of past events. Okay, so I think I can still write there as a result of past events. From which future economic benefit is expected to be derived from an entity. So from which future economic future economic benefit is expected. So you can either say to flow to an entity or to be derived from. So we're saying an asset, this is a resource which is owned and controlled by an entity as a result of past events from which future economic benefit is expected to be derived or to flow to an entity, so you can say, or to be derived. So now, what I'm trying to explain here when it comes to an asset here, in simpler terms, in layman's language, we can simply say an asset is simply something that brings money to the business. Something that brings money to the business, in simple terms, money to the business. So this definition that I've given you is a standard definition which caters for everything. So when you talk about an asset, you need to own this particular resource, and also you need to be able to have control as an entity, and then it needs to arise, here I mentioned saying, as a result of past events. So these past events that I'm referring to, you should have bought this particular asset. So you purchased, there's a transaction, you bought this particular asset, you bought, this is what we mean when we say past events, and then from which future economic benefits is expected to flow to an entity. So once you buy an asset, you should be able to derive benefit from it. So an example I can give of a proper asset is machinery. So machinery there. Once you buy this machinery here, you should be able to derive benefit from here, because by virtue of you using this asset, you should be able to derive some benefit, economic benefit from it. So it should enable inflow of cash to the business. This is what we're saying an asset is. And then we also have types of assets. So we also have types of assets. Let me just wrap so that we have more space. So having defined what an asset is, I can also tell you the types of assets that we have. So who knows the types of assets that we have? Anyone to help us with the types of assets, you can just type in the comment section. I'll be able to check through there. So what are the types of assets? Those that took accounts in grade 12, 10 to 12, or you took business studies. What are the types of assets? Okay, so I can see fixed assets and current assets. Okay, fixed assets. Okay, keep them coming, keep the comments coming. So when it comes to assets, we're saying we have types of assets. So under types of assets, we have what we call fixed assets there. We also have current assets. So this is correct. So fixed assets, and we also have current assets. So let me just do this. And then this one, the fixed assets, is also known as non-current. The other name is non-current assets. So sometimes in books they might choose non-current assets. You shouldn't be surprised. Once they use fixed assets or non-current is one and the same thing. So there are times where in other books they won't use fixed assets, they'll say non-current assets. So the book you guys have been using, I think they recommended should be Frankfurt if I'm not mistaken. But there are also other books where you also find books like for SCCA, CIMA, so on and so forth. You find these non-current assets. So these are the two types of assets. So I'm going to give you examples of all these so that it's much easier. Once you see it, you should be able to identify that you're talking about a fixed asset or a current asset. So I can say non-current asset. So you shouldn't be confused when I say non-current. You know what it means here. So I'll give you examples of each of these. So I've told you the types of assets, then I'll also give you examples of these particular assets so that it's much easier to identify in questions. Those of you who've done accounting, you've done the trial balance. So you need to know which one is an asset, which one is a liability, which one is an expense for you to be able to complete those. So this is the part we're just trying to lay a foundation on this thing. And then, how can you distinguish between these two again? So we're saying we've got a fixed asset and a current asset, but they all fall under the same definition. So the difference between these two, how you can differentiate these, is in terms of liquidity. There's what we call liquidity. So liquidity, this is just simply a state which, or how quick, we can just say, this is how quick you can change this particular asset into cash. Converting one of these assets into cash. So when it comes to current assets, this, it's a period of 1 year and less. For non-current assets, these we hold on to these or we're able to convert them into cash for more than, so it's 1 year plus. So for as long as that's more than a year, maybe we can just put 2 years there, more than a year, we consider this to be a non-current asset. So that's the major distinguishing factor between these two. That's the major distinguishing factor between these two. And then, who can help us with some examples of non-current assets? So just kindly type there, give us examples of non-current. Which non-current assets do you know? So let's be quick. What are some of the non-current assets that you know? So you can kindly type there. So I can see lands. 3 people saying the same thing, lands, okay. What else aside from land? What else aside from land? What else do you consider to be as an asset aside from land? Machinery, okay. Another current asset, so I say machinery, so lands. Yes, land, we've got machinery, we have buildings, we also have fixtures and fittings, FF, fixed and fittings. We also have motor vehicles. We also have motor vehicles, then and also right here, we also have plant and equipment. So you can continue typing in the comment section and we're going to read. So plants and equipment, I will be able to read. So plant and equipment, so on and so forth. Let me just check your comments. So furniture, okay. So I can see other submissions there. We also have furniture. Furniture is also a non-current asset. These are the most common examples when it comes to capital is not an asset when it comes to assets. I can see someone saying capital. So capital can never be an asset. There's never been an asset. So the list is endless. So, but then I'll just give you, these are the most common ones. These are the most common examples of non-current assets. So when we come to questions, you must define these kind of non-current assets. There are lots more, but these are the most common ones that you will ever find. Then we also have current assets. So under current assets, can you give me examples of current assets? Give me examples of current assets. I can't see. That is it plot or what? The one with the equipment. Okay. This is plants and equipment. Plants and equipment. Okay, so I can see Danny and Crystal. So cash, stock, debtors. Okay. Keep the answers coming. Keep the answers coming. So we have inventory, which is also known as stock. We also have trade receivables, which are also known as debtors. So trade receivables, also known as debtors. We also have cash and bank, which is the cash that you guys mentioned. We also have cash in hand, which is the cash. Then we also have prepaid expenses. Prepaid expenses. They also concern the current assets. We also have accrued incomes. We also have accrued incomes. So this is everything. This is everything when it comes to current assets. Whatever you're seeing here, this is everything when it comes to current assets. So when you talk of inventory, these are the goods and services that you offer. So inventory, these are the goods that you're selling as a business. For example, if you're selling shoes, the shoes are the stock or the inventory, and then we also have trade receivables or debtors. These trade receivables or debtors, these are people who are owing the business money. In short, we can say in Bemba, Abankombole, those people who are owing you money as a business is what we call trade receivables or debtors. In other terms, we can say credit customers. In Nyanja, we say Bankombole. And then cash at bank. This is the cash that you save at the bank as a business where you bank the money. And also cash in hand is your petty cash, the one you use for your day-to-day operations of the business. And then you also have prepaid expenses. Under prepaid expenses there. So a prepaid expense, this is an expense that is just paid in advance. Once you pay for an expense in advance, for example, so it's an expense relating to the next accounting period, but it's paid for in the current accounting period. So let's assume we are in 2021, and then so you are given this 2 years, but you assume you are in 2021, and then you pay for an expense for 2022 in 2021. So we are going to consider this as a prepaid expense. And because you are not yet in 2022, but you've paid for an expense in 2021 for 2022, you can still claim this money back because it is still your money in 2021. Not until it reaches 2022. In most cases, these things happen to rent. When it comes to rent, you pay rent in advance. You're going to pay rent in advance for January, Feb, March. So if you're in January there, and then you pay rent you pay for 3 months, you pay 3,000. So we're going to do this properly. There will be a separate session class for just this topic and also for this. When you pay for this in January, you pay for February and March, it means you've prepared. So you can still claim the money once you're still January, it's still your money. So that's why it falls under current assets. Accrued income, this is income that you've earned, for example, in this year, in the current accounting period, but you receive it when? In the next accounting period. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. So we can kindly confirm if we're moving together, if you've understood that I've just explained here. So kindly confirm, kindly confirm. So are we together? Can I wrap this part here? So we are together, okay, great. So keep on engaging. You can type. Do you have a question? Any question that you have? So this class, as I promised you, it won't be more than 30 minutes. So we started at 15 hours. So by 15, we should be able to be done. We'll continue next time. So I want to be taking things slowly, bit by bit. I know you guys are babies, so I need to be feeding you milk bit by bit before I feed you porridge. So that's how we are going to be moving. You need to be fed milk before you can be fed porridge and eventually shima. So this is just the beginning. You need to know all these items. I hope you guys have got a book where you write when it comes to financial accounting. So all these lessons that you are seeing here, there are already made videos for this, and also we are going to teach you physically. We are going to teach you physically as well. So what is an expense? Anyone who knows what an expense is? What comes to your mind when you hear the term expense? So we can write. So an expense is simply a cost of operations. A cost of operations that a business incurs, I hope you guys are able to see. Okay, there's two space that a business incurs in order to generate revenue, and no further benefit is expected. No further benefit is expected to be derived from it. So it didn't say is expected to be derived from it. So I say, in terms of an expense, those costs, I'm sure you usually use these terms from your day-to-day lives. You mention, no, I've got this expense, I'm paying for this. So an expense, when it comes to financial accounting, on a business level, we're saying this is a cost of operations that a business incurs in order to generate revenue, and no further benefit is expected. You don't expect any benefit from that. As compared to an asset, we're saying we expect to derive benefit, future economic benefit from it. But when it comes to an expense, we don't expect to derive some future economic benefit from it. We just use it to, run our day-to-day operations of the business. That's the definition when it comes to an expense. And also how you can distinguish between an expense and assets. Because for this what here, we're saying the resource which is owned and controlled by the business as a result of past events from which future economic benefit is expected to be derived from it. But from here, no further benefit is expected. You just use it to what? Income in order to generate revenue. Examples. So here we'll do some examples in the comment section. What are the examples of an expense? Those that are sharp, what's the answer? So I can say that is saying rent. Okay. Rent is correct. Rent is one of them. So rent is an expense. So you need to specify rent paid because it's also rent received, which is an income. So rent, insurance. Okay, yes, insurance. Heat and lighting. So heat and lighting is also an expense. Okay. Motor expenses. Okay, yes, which can also be put under repairs and maintenance. So we can talk about repairs and maintenance. And then you can also put carriage outwards. You can also put depreciation here. You can also put electricity bills there, which is also an expense. Water expenses, this can allow. Okay, provision for depreciation is not an expense. So provision, I'm seeing provision for DP here. That's what you guys are saying. So this can allow yes. So this can allow yes. This is an expense. Water expense, yes, you can also consider this under utility bill. So water expense. Okay. Can salary be considered as an expense? Yes, you can also put salaries. So in short, we just refer to this as wages and salaries. For as long as it fits in this definition, you're using it for operations in order to run your day-to-day. You need to pay people who are working. So those people, they're the ones who are enabling your day-to-day running of the business to be able to move. So yes, your wages from the labor and your salary that you pay your employees, these they fall under that. Provision for deep, no. Salaries and wages, okay. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So I was just trying to put examples of these, the famous ones that you ever find. We can also put here bad dates. Bad dates written off. W or written off. Bad dates written off. We can also put postage and stationery. We can also put advertising. We can also put advertising here. The other items we can also put loss on disposal. I hope you guys are writing. You put somewhere to write. Let me just clear this. So for today, this is where we are going to end Then going forward, we'll proceed from here. We are going to proceed from here. But ensure that you write all this. So right now, I'm still feeding you milk. Milk, then you go to porridge. From porridge, you'll be able to eat inshima and other hard stuff. So I hope you guys are following. So marketing, yes, so advertising and marketing. Then put advertising and marketing. I can also put increase in provision for budgets. Provision for budgets. So all this, also disposal, there will be a different topic in its provisions. There will be a different topic that we're going to do, plus budgets and recession. We'll do these topics later on as we proceed later into the chapter. But for now, I just want you guys to have a view of all these, and these are the expenses. So once you see this in a question, what should come to your mind is that you have an expense there. So just knowing that you see an expense is enough for you at this level. I'll be able to explain going forward. Okay. So at least we've done two types of elements of financial statements. What of goodwill? Is it an expense? No, it's not. It's not. So we've done two types of elements of financial statements. So going forward, next time we meet, we'll look at liabilities. We'll also look at equity, these remaining three, and capital. And then we'll also look at the other one, which is revenue. So I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be defining. I'll also give examples, defining, give examples, so that it's much easier. When you're given the question, you're going to identify that this is the thing here. And then also for this, I've given the definition of an expense and also some examples. These are the most common examples. So we can even put here, etc. the note. So just for now, these are the most common ones that we've identified together. When is the next time? So we'll be communicating. For some of the videos, I think you can also watch on our platforms, but we'll be able to communicate to you guys. So worry not about that. So going forward, we are going to be doing the same thing. Do we already have a timetable? So for the timetable, we're going to release a timetable. So worry not when it comes to that. We don't need to worry. We are going to have all these. So next time, I think we're also going to do. So you've done. There's math. There's accounts. Then we'll also do economics. So far you've just been reading math and accounts. Then we'll also teach economics. We're going to introduce you to the real deal, economics. You guys should be able to participate in national development. Know what economics is, what your president did, the program that he studied. Okay? Why not? Even Jesus said, yes, why not, my guys? Why not? So, if you're not in our groups, you can always text. You can text me there. This is my WhatsApp line. This is my name. I'm an accountant by profession, a practicing accountant. And also, I'm a tutor. I teach from first years up to final years. So this is the number you can use to text. For those who are not in our groups, you can text me, then they will add you. So we are done for the day. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of the day. How many points are needed for accounts? We'll discuss in our orientation. So me who wants to study banking, this class is my class as well. Yes, it's also a class. So I think I mentioned all those under the scope of business and humanities, you've got accounts. Aside from, I think for humanities, there is only economics. Those who are technical economics, but banking and finance, there is also project management, transport and logistics, production operation management, BBA, which is Bachelor's Business Administration, Marketing and Accounts. All those, you do all these. There are a lot of programs in the scope business. But who will tell you? For now, I'm avoiding to comment much about the programs because there will be an orientation with regards to that. Okay, I think we are done for the day. We'll proceed from here. Next time we're going to meet.